Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is North Carolina Living. This morning I'm out sitting here in the gazebo enjoying the beautiful scenery and the birds singing out here. Just looking around at all my plants and just enjoying all the colors and variations. It's really fun to just kind of get out and create and design what's appealing to you and what you find interesting and beautiful. It's a custom thing, it's like every individual person is a little bit different in what they like. And so you kind of create your own little world of garden or landscape. And I was really thinking about that this morning. Just what are some plants that I just really find interesting? Now, obviously, you guys know that I love Japanese maples and conifers. That's what the most extensive collection of plants is in my garden. But I also have a lot of starting to get more into just different interesting, unique plants as companion plants for Japanese maples and conifers. So I thought this morning I'd take you around and show you a few things that maybe you guys aren't thinking about, or maybe I can bring to your attention and share with you what I like and a few other different unique plants in my garden. So come along, check it out. All right, so the first one that we'll jump in here and talk about is a really cool tree. This is a witch hazel, a variegated form of it called Little Prospect. Now, what really sets this one apart amongst other witch hazels is this beautiful variegated foliage. I mean, check that out, man. It's got a really nice yellow, kind of lime green to yellow margin variegation with the dark green center to it. It's very consistently variegated throughout. I really like that about it. Just beautiful colors. Really interesting plant. When I saw these, I found one of these at Mr. Maple, and I was like, man, that is so cool. I need something like that in my garden, something a little bit different texture and leaf shape. And then with that crazy variegation on top of that, just really made this a plant that I wanted. Obviously, I'm always drawn more to the maples and conifers, but I think this is an interesting plant to add. Now, one of the other really appealing things about this is in the fall and winter months, you get these beautiful yellow kind of little tassel flowers. The witch hazel flower is such an interesting little bloom, and it's like these little individual strings that just kind of hang down in a cluster, and really cool. And when you think about it compared to other plants or trees that you might have, this one really sets itself apart and makes a great companion plant to a lot of my other plants here in the garden. I've got it behind this John Tuivon, Acer palmatum John Tuivon, really nice dark red to purple color. So with this behind it, it's going to really pop in color with that bright yellow and green variegation. Just wanted to share a few kind of different plants that I have out here. Maybe you guys would be interested in seeing some cool companion plants that I have. All right, so moving on here to the next one. I've got a native selection, cultivar selection called Michael Lindsay. It's a sweet shrub. And I know everyone's gonna ask right away, so I'll tell you what this is. This is Esk Sunset. beautiful sycamore maple, nice variegated. But the one I wanted to talk about is this sweet shrub. Check out these crazy looking flowers. Now, this is a really cool plant. This is native to my area here in western North Carolina. I went hiking all over this mountains here, and you see the sweet shrubs growing all over out in the mountains. And I love that about it. I wanted to have something that kind of reminded me of the native plants here. And so I wanted to add a few native plants to my garden. Now, the little prospect, actually, that species of witch hazel is actually native to the area as well. So I've got a couple of cool native plants here in my garden. But the sweet shrub, man, it's really fragrant, has a nice sweet smell to that flower. And these flowers can get quite big too. You know, a couple inches. Dark kind of burgundy pink color. Really nice foliage on it too, kind of a glossy leaf. And I've got this kind of growing in as a backdrop plant back here along the back fence, and just going to be an interesting different type of plant, different texture. It does actually get some decent fall color too. I've seen some nice yellows and kind of golden orange colors on this. But yeah, check it out. So sweet shrub, really cool plant, and one that I wanted to have here in my garden just as an accent to a lot of the maples and conifers that I have around. All right, moving on to the next kind of companion plant. Really something interesting and different that I've tried to add to my collection of plants out here. And I've got it in a really cool spot here. This is Styrax japonicus evening lights. This is a Japanese snowbell with some really crazy dark, almost black, kind of dark purple to black foliage on this thing. Really nice. I love that about it. I mean, there's very few plants that have some foliage that's that dark. And really cool leaf shape too. I like that kind of just teardrop leaf on that. Now, one of the cool things about this is a flowering tree, really known for its flowers. It's got these little white kind of snowbell flowers, very fragrant as well. It's kind of past the bloom. I had a ton of these little white flowers all over. Kind of missed the opportunity to showcase some of that contrast. But this plant is super cool. Now, what I like about these different companion plants is you can find ways to contrast them with other things in your garden. So I'll just show you here. So this beautiful dark black to purple foliage with the white flowers right next to a Acer palmatum summer gold, which is beautiful, golden yellows, lime green colors. And then I've also got it next to an Acer palmatum Mila, which has got these crazy reds and pinks and oranges. So I just love trying to create contrast and texture differences. And I think, this Japanese snowbell with the dark foliage, white flowers, and also the bonus of being fragrant just adds a lot of different elements into your garden. I'm always thinking about how can I take my garden to the next level. And I think adding some of these different plants like this really begins to just elevate the diversity of plants in the garden and give you something where you're not too one-dimensional. I mean, I have a ton of maples, a lot of conifers as well, but I don't want to just have those. I want other flowering things. I want different plants. I also do have an azalea right here. This is a bright fuchsia colored bloom azalea. So if you just think about in this group right here, you know, you've got the summer gold, beautiful yellows and greens, fuchsia, flowering azalea, the dark purple and black with white on the Styrax japonicus. And then you've got Mila right here, and beautiful colors on that. And then just we'll go on down here and talk about this. This is Goldilocks. It's a Japanese white pine with beautiful gold colors there. I love thinking about companion plants and just how to contrast textures and colors out in the garden. And I think I just wanted to highlight today this Japanese snowbell evening lights. Man, if you got room for this, it doesn't get huge, but it's going to really make a big presence, especially if you have some things around it that you can contrast with it. Definitely a cool plant. All right, moving right along, I've got another really cool plant with some crazy dark foliage. Now, this is one that I really wasn't familiar with whenever I first discovered this plant. So I had to do some research and just kind of look into it. And it's a really interesting plant. This is a Japanese anise shrub. This is called Murasaki no Sato. I believe it loosely translates to purple village, something like this. But this has some crazy new growth. The foliage on this is typically kind of a olive green color, but when it puts on its new growth, it comes out this crazy purple color. Really glossy leaf. I mean, really shines, especially in the sun. You can just see the sun just gleaming off of these shiny leaves. I love the overall just texture of it, the way these leaves are in kind of groupings like this. And again, this new growth, this one's been doing really well here in my spot in the garden. I'm kind of zone pushing with this one a little bit. They rate this as a zone 7 plant. So I'm kind of on the border of that. They've changed the zone ratings here in Western North Carolina. We were a 6, zone 6, now we're 7B. So I'm kind of on the border of what this plant is supposedly able to handle. I've read other things too that said that this is actually a lot harder than what they say. But anyway, I've got it in a protected spot here up against the fence in this back kind of corner. And I think it just really adds a different kind of plant. There's really different leaves, that shiny leaf to it, that beautiful purple new growth. And it also does get a white flower. So I didn't get a chance to see the white flowers that this can produce. It's usually kind of an early spring blooming flower, white. And then you get this crazy purple new growth over top of that. So really interesting plant. Now this gets a nice size. It's going to be probably 5 to 6 feet in height here in this corner. I've got it next to a large dwarf variety of Japanese maple called Emony, Acer palmatum Emony. Really nice contrast with this. And I've also got it next to an Acer pictum Usugumo. really cool, like kind of swirling, white swirling variegation on that Acer pictum batwing style leaf to it. So again, this is another cool way to just find different style of plants to contrast with each other. So you're gonna have this large upright usugumo here, a shrub to fill this space, and then a dwarf Japanese maple kind of out front to the side, kind of just provide something out front for this Japanese anise shrub to provide a backdrop for it. So I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos today. Just wanted to take you around and show you some different plants. I know I talk a lot about Japanese maples. I wanted to show a few other plants that I've been getting interested in lately that are just really unique and different and provide a different look and feel in the garden. So appreciate you guys coming along for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you up next time. See you later.